Analysts note that the wider market now favors altcoins and XRP is squarely in focus. Coinbase institutional research has flagged that Bitcoin's market share is beginning to fall, a shift that historically precedes capital rotation into large-cap altcoins. Supporting this narrative, XRP's year-to-date gains have already been impressive. By mid-August, it was up roughly plus 49%, far outpacing Bitcoin's plus 27%. In early August, XRP briefly spiked toward $3.50, its highest point in 7 years, on a breakout that generated about $1.6 billion in realized profits. That move triggered an approximately 11% pullback, sending price under $3. In fact, during one day of that sell-off, XRP's market capitalization fell from $193.8 billion to $182.9 billion, around a $10 billion drop. As the price eased to roughly $3.08, by mid-August XRP was still trading just above $3, which is about 18% below its late July all-time high. Notably, each sell-off has invited substantial buying, the first key signal suggesting XRP's leadership potential. One powerful bullish signal is large holder whale accumulation on the dips. On August 15th, on-chain data shows whales scooped roughly 120 million XRP in a single day of heavy selling. Over the prior 72 hours, whales had already amassed about 320 million XRP, bringing total absorption to roughly 440 million XRP, $3.8 billion in about 1 week. Crucially, Crypto highlights this smart money activity, noting that whales were stacking bullish pressure under the tape by buying 120 meters XRP on the dip. Historically, such concentrated accumulation by large holders has often foreshadowed trend reversals. In practical terms, this suggests that savvy investors view the pullbacks as buying opportunities, which could fuel an eventual rally. The fact that the price rebounded aggressively off those dips discussed next adds credence. A sudden short squeeze drove an approximately 22% jump from the $2.70 low. However, this bullish sign comes with a counterpoint. On-chain metrics also show that whales have been booking massive profits. Sentiment reports that, since mid-July, whales have sold about $6 billion worth of XRP. Crypto quant analysts warn that there is no sign of consistent accumulation from large holders, meaning the upflows are not yet a stable trend. In other words, unless this buying continues, for example, sustained daily inflows above $15 million, the market could remain structurally weak. If the whales switch back to selling en masse, XRP's bounce could fizzle. Thus the first signal, whale buying, is promising if it holds, but the risk is that it might reverse if profit-taking accelerates. Second signal is technical. XRP's price structure has formed a firmer base with increasing momentum. After breaking below $3.15 to 3.20 resistance, XRP didn't just languish. It reversed sharply. A classic short squeeze saw XRP rally approximately 22% from a $2.70 low on August 15th. Moreover, each dip has resulted in a higher trough. After the August 14th break below $3, XRP quickly surged 8.6% back up, establishing a clean higher low instead of retesting the prior bottom. This pattern, where sellers cannot push price as low as before, is a bullish hallmark, indicating that buyers are stepping in earlier on each pullback. In sum, the chart shows resilience. XRP is consolidating above $2.90, $3, and fighting back toward overhead resistance. Still, caution is warranted on the technical front. The sharp 11% retreat from the recent highs shows that profit-taking can be intense. If XRP fails to hold current support around $2.90, $3, the market could see further drops. Some analysts even point to potential tests of $2.85 or lower in that scenario. Altogether, the outlook hinges on a convincing breakout. Crypto notes that for XRP to really power higher, it needs to reclaim and sustain above the $3.50 zone. Absent that, the structure could break down. Indeed, one Binance-sponsored analysis warns that the overall altcoin market doesn't yet have the sustained capital for long rallies. Altcoin rallies have been short-lived and vulnerable according to Bitfinex strategists, which implies that XRP's pattern could quickly reverse if broader sentiment sours. In short, the higher low base is a constructive sign, but not ironclad proof. The token must prove it can keep climbing without failing support again. A third signal is XRP's relative strength versus Ethereum. In recent sessions, the XRP ETH ratio has bounced strongly from a key support zone, climbing over 6% in under 48 hours. Notably, this bounce came while XRP saw a green daily candle and Ethereum endured 3 straight red candles, an uncommon divergence. In tangible terms, as ETH fell toward a multi-year low near $1,440, XRP held firm above $3. This suggests capital rotated into XRP specifically, giving it an edge. Historically, when an asset outperforms ETH, it often signals leadership among ETH. ETH often signals leadership among alts. If XRP continues to outperform in the coming weeks, it could indeed lead a larger altcoin surge, yet this relative strength could prove fleeting. Much of it stems from Ethereum's pullback. Should Ethereum's find buying pressure or Bitcoin reaccelerate, the trend could reverse. Some analysts even warned earlier this summer that a failed support in the XRP ETH chart could trigger a severe decline. For example, one analysis claimed a break might send XRP as low as $1.60. That bearish scenario has not materialized yet, but it illustrates the risk. In other words, while the current cross-crypto trend favors XRP, it depends on continued weakness in ETH and sustained interest in XRP. Any significant shift in the broader market could change that picture quickly. In summary, 3 data-driven signs point to XRP potentially taking the lead among altcoins this quarter. 1 aggressive whale accumulation on price dips to the formation of a firm higher-low base with strong bounce momentum. And 3 clear outperformance against Ethereum. Together, these align with AMB Crypto's conclusion that XRP is in the spotlight for the rest of Q3. However, a balanced view also notes the risks. Q is still roughly 18% below its July record high, meaning some holders may yet take profits. Whales have both bought and sold in the past weeks, and as noted, the broader altcoin market remains fragile. Regulatory or macroeconomic developments, for example, the SEC case or Fed policy, could quickly sway sentiment. Thus, while the current metrics are bullish, nothing is guaranteed. Traders should weigh the promising signals against the warning signs. In short, XRP has multiple compelling reasons to outperform in Q3, but it will need to prove these signals translate into sustained strength.